Good afternoon. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. Today's Wednesday, June 28th, 2006. We've got the NASDAQ 100 Trust up here on the screen right now, symbol QQQQ. And the market really didn't follow through on the downside like I was hoping for. And it was really, I'd say, more neutral than anything, although there was a little bit of a tradable bounce in there today. Let's just take a look at this 10-minute time frame and see where we are. The Fed meets tomorrow, and second day of their meeting, they're going to announce any change to monetary policy. Most people are expecting 25 basis points. I think there's a lot of increasing chatter, though, about 50 basis points. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't try and make predictions there. I just want to look at how the market responds to whatever new data that we do get as it develops, and we'll watch it unfold. Right now, though, the market remains below this neckline that we saw break yesterday from that head and shoulders pattern that I'm outlining right now. And while I said that I was looking for a target of 36.80, I also mentioned that that doesn't mean you just set your buy order at 36.80 and expect it to come down to that level. Instead, what I had mentioned was that you still have to manage risk, and the definition of a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. So maybe you guys stopped out here. It's up to you to decide where you're going to set your stops. But clearly, these lower highs got interrupted with a higher high right over there. Now, intraday, there was also this trend line in here that I got involved with the Qs right in here. I thought that breaking above this high, and I purchased just a little bit early because we were starting to see a nice volume in there, and we saw a nice move higher into the afternoon, and then a solid close where it didn't give up those gains but just digested them sideways. The bad news is on the bigger time frame, we've still got this potential for some pretty significant resistance up near 37.90, and I'll say up to as high as 38.10 or so. Tomorrow, if we can get it and hold above 38.10 for maybe a half hour or so, then perhaps we're not going to see a test of those lows right away, and maybe a little bit more back and forth action and potentially a little bit of upside to come. Market remains very tricky. You got to be quick to take your gains and your losses in here, and I've been stressing that a lot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the spiders as well, SPY. We had been looking at this symmetrical triangle that had broken down below the low of that yesterday. Now we can see the apex right there, and it did break right at about at the 2/3 to 3/4 level where it was supposed to. Market came back up to that level, and now this uptrending line in here that was acting as support, maybe acting as resistance. What really I think could have broken the markets today would have been to take out this low over here at 123.55. If the market was to take out that low, then I think we would have seen a real punch lower down towards that 122 level. Maybe not today 122, but I think over the next would have set up the move to that. The IWM Russell 2000, this one's just back and forth in here, and really it looks like the Russell is more defined by this range of 67.50 to $70 a share. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stocks I'd mentioned. SIRF, this is one that we shorted below $30 a share. I covered this one early on this morning and took a small gain in it, but it made these higher lows and higher highs and higher lows today. So I don't really see much of a reason to be involved in that one right now. Should have made a little bit of something off that one. WFMI, this is one that I've been frustrated with. I've really been expecting this one to break, and I'm kind of more irritated with my attitude that I'm letting my opinion get in the way. I should have covered my puts. I haven't covered my puts in here yet. Now I think with any weakness, I'm going to have to do that and take a small loss. So you should be probably stopped out of that one for now, but perhaps it'll decline later on. WFMI, it made a higher low in here. We were looking for it to break down. It didn't do that, so no reason to get involved. SanDisk, I covered part of my puts. It's breaking down very nicely, and here we see this descending triangle where we had that support and these lower highs that just kept pressuring away at that level. And now the stock looks pretty broken here on a daily time frame as well. I'm hoping that maybe we could even get a push down towards 48 or so, and 46, 40, probably about 47, 48 is what I'm hoping for in this stock. But it continues to act pretty bearish, and I think getting back up above this range, though, I would probably reconsider my position and sell the remaining puts that I have in there. On the long side, we were looking at EGOV yesterday. EGOV is Nick Incorporated. We're looking for a move above 731. That didn't happen. No reason to get involved. FSII, we're looking for a move above the evil 666 here, and as it did break above that late in the day, there was a good purchase to be made. And I think that you can see in here that this is that 666 level. As it broke above that, that's where the momentum came in. And now, worst case scenario, your stop ought to be below this 655 level. I'm going to leave it up to you to figure out where you want to put your stop, but I would say worst case 655. So there's very little risk left in that one. AT&T we had also looked at as far as a potential move above $27.54. I think you can still look at this stock, but again, tomorrow's the Federal Reserve, so just be very careful tomorrow. But this chart's setting up, I think, rather nicely here on the 10-minute time frame. The shorts that we had looked at for yesterday included ENER, and what we were looking for was a rally up to 35.90. Early on, it made a high of 35.86, and so we were looking for a rally up to 35.90, then a failure. This doesn't really count as the failure, so because it didn't really push down through that level in here, but we've got all these moving averages still heading higher. What I wanted it to do was when these moving averages were still heading lower. So ENER looks like I'm still kind of bearish on it overall, but I think we're going to have to see it make a lower low before you really want to consider getting involved on the short side. FLSH, which is M Systems Flash Disk Pioneers is the name of the company symbol, FLSH again. We're looking for a rally up to 29.40 and then a failure. We didn't get that. In fact, the high in the afternoon was about 29.33. So for now, keep this one off the list as well. And finally, the last one was Monster.com. Looking for a rally up to 42.30 early on. That obviously never happened in here. We're looking for it to rally up into this level. Instead, the stock just continued lower from the move that began yesterday, and it still looks pretty bearish. I think we're going to see some kind of retracement, maybe even 50% of this move somewhere down in towards that level. If we took a look at the Fibonacci and quickly drew those in here, we would see that maybe towards 39.5. But I'll be back with another video later. I want to get this one off to YouTube so it can get uploaded. And again, this is Brian Shannon at Alpha Trends. Thanks for your time.